especially with that Ench pick. I think that is also a rough setup for the lane. And then you add the Hoodwink at least. Add it into the mix. You've got some kind of a combo going up with the song. Tusk and Hoodwink together. Really annoying to try to even try to escape. Like, I don't think you're going to be getting out from these two heroes, getting blocked by shards. Then you're going to get bushwhacked. Oh, we got a snowball as well. Like, we'll just throw everything right in your face. And that is a pretty annoying lineup to play against, even though they are somewhat squishy, at least to some burst damage. However, Army Geniuses, they still got room for that if they want to. Haven't really revealed if this Tiny is going to be support or a core. You kind of got the Maranas, but you actually talked about this a couple days ago with you with this Marana, that this could be 3. This could also be a 5 Marana.
Yeah, 3 I doubt because of the Beastmaster, but a 5 is possible. Though still, I would want to see a 4 Mirana because Beastmaster is one of those heroes you can somewhat leave him alone. He's gonna suffer in the lane anyways, and Tiny and the Mirana do gank the mid lane quite well. It's very rare that you have a mid lane hero that is gonna survive an avalanche toss into an arrow combo, and it's really not that hard to hit. The second the avalanche goes out, you throw out the arrow, and it's gonna be there. Morphling comes out, but what is interesting to me right now, it looks like Neon.Atomic are playing either a core Tusk or a core Hoodwink. Of course, the core Enchantress is a possibility, though I doubt it. I think this one was picked just to play against the Beastmaster. The interesting thing also is there is no team fight on either of these teams. So I think there's going to be a lot of map movement or a lot of chaos happening on the map where one hero is dying on one side, the other on the other. When a hero dodges the gank, then you go for a big smoke and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be a very fun game to watch in terms of dynamic and movements on the map.
Yeah, maybe one of those wild multi-kills happening before the bounties even spawn. Like, like you said, there's a lot of pick-off potential. There's a lot of solo single target abilities available. Very, very good nuking targets as well in terms of fighting capability and scaling. And when these heroes also hit their active timers, like Beastmaster, if he gets himself a good lane, you're very strong with just roaring somebody up and throwing your Overlord Ancient Creep to smack down whoever you want to kill. Like, Beastmaster can pack a real punch when going up against 1v1s or looking for a support pick-off, for example. Then you got the Morphling. Morphling maybe activates a bit after the Beastmaster does. Does get enabled nicely for that. Naga takes maybe a bit of time, but Naga is also really good here to go against when you have the Tusk in your team with the Hood. We talked about like locking heroes down. Naga likes hitting these free targets when you got a lot of time to build up.
Yeah, this is though a very good Morphling game when you think about it. When there is not a big team fight, that means not a lot of heroes are gonna be taken down immediately. Morphling is a hero that you don't want to even try to burst down first because it's 99% of the time it's not gonna work. Especially with the lineup like Neon.Atomic, it's not like they can burst him down. He'll always get the morph off. They have no instant disable. Plus, you get an Aghanim Scepter. You can, as far as I know, click on the Naga Illusion and still get the stats away from the real one. So that is one thing that you always have to be afraid of as the Naga Siren. Not much you can do about it either. So I'm liking this Morphling pick. I think it's really good. And looking at the heroes of Neon.Atomic, they can't even pressure him in the lane. It's of the utmost importance that the Morphling doesn't get a good start in the lane because level 3, 4, he starts ramping up the damage and the last hits and he starts crushing everyone. And if you don't destroy him up until that point, then it can be a really, really tough hero to deal with as the game progresses.
Kind of liking the idea here of banning the Monkey King as well from Neon.Atomic. That's one of those team fight ultis added into the mix that can make things a bit difficult for Tusks and Hoodwinks to kind of maneuver in fights as well. So positioning is really big, at least when you're looking for fights when there aren't like these huge team fight abilities until now. So we'll see if this last phase is going to provide us with some extra AoE to add into the mix.
10 seconds.
We still got a plenty amount of reserve time on Neon.Atomic as well. When you look at this lineup, well, I mean, here's our answer. It's going to be the Tidehunter. We got ourselves our AoE stun. We got some team fight capability and stable in the lane. Plus, you ban the Monkey King. So, Tide should be having a good lane by the looks of it as well with the matchup that he's going up against.
Yeah, he is okay. You cannot kill the Morphling, but Tidehunter farms really well in that lane. And also, as the game moves on, Morphling, he has no bonus damage. He only has base damage mostly because you mostly build into stats. So the Anchor Smash is something that he hates playing against because you take away like the majority of his damage. So I'm liking the Tide. I think it's the right approach. There isn't anything here that can kill the Tide on the side of Army Geniuses. No Dooms, no Disruptors, and stuff like that. But they'll go for the Rubik. Okay, so Army Geniuses are gonna be relying full on just outplaying their opponents, right? Outplaying, casting spells, jumping in and out, going left and right on the map. I'm not sure that they'll be able to do it because their laning stage might not be so great. So I'm kind of afraid here for Army Geniuses if they'll be allowed to play the game, and then if you lose the laning stage heavily and you're up against the Tide, so the team fight is always going to be in the enemy's favor. It's going to be tough. So I'm really looking forward to see how well they can move around the map because this lineup is not easy to execute.
Let's see if the lineup of the players is going to be easy to execute or not, especially with these roster changes coming up for Army Geniuses. See what they can establish here with their first series in the BTS Pro Series, and together as a team by the looks of it as well. Or has AG actually been playing competitively lately for the last few days, or did they just freshly come out into BTS with this roster?
As far as I know,
that should be the case.
Did they play? Yeah, this should be a new roster completely. At least when it comes to competitive games. So
that's what I think at least as well. So this is a good trial by fire.
For sure. It is, and they put themselves in a situation where it's not gonna be easy. I have to say some big names are there. You know, Joe Cam, In Your Dream, Yowie, DB. I'm not sure if he's standing in. He is gonna be in the off lane. I'm not really sure how good he is on the role, but it is gonna be very fun to see how well they work together because these are some strong players, but executing in this kind of a game isn't gonna be easy. I'm really looking forward to see if they can make it happen.
Well, we are gonna get some action, most likely. See what Atomic can establish with this smoke gank early on. They've got some wards on the Hoodwink. Could be just looking to go for the classic Cliff ward here. Have themselves some access to the bottom half of the map. See what's going on there. We see some mirrored obs movement as well from Army Geniuses towards the top side. Splitting it half and half.
And 2 gold fed from the Naga. That's given an illusion to the Morphling. Yeah, that's a very big one. Just kidding, of course, no one cares. But yeah, I don't think now when kind of positions have been met, probably Army Geniuses aren't gonna be moving. Okay, they're actually moving a lot. Considering you have a Morphling, there is a good chance that the enemies actually go for you.
Well, DB kind of leading the charge, but also getting blocked by these illusions. And it is going to be a quad rune setup for Neon.Atomic. So you might have got yourself that one illusion given away for 2 gold, but you got yourselves a bit more than that in terms of 160 gold for the team per player.
That was a weird movement from Army Geniuses to move from their ward. You're having a Morphling, so you're definitely the weaker lineup, and you just move away like that. Morphling cannot contest Rune. He has to run away. Varish was left alone, and then you have like 3 heroes with the Tiny not really wanting to come over. That should be fighting against 3 heroes of Neon.Atomic. So we saw how it ended up really badly. This is not a good start. It's never nice if you're a mid laner, especially if the enemy hero just gets 4 runes and you don't get a single one.
Yeah. Also, what I'm looking at here in the bot lane, obviously you got to level up Axis because of the Enchantress. Even if Enchantress does start off with the heal, your level 1 boar is probably not going to have much impact anyway in the lanes. And you can't really harass and poke with it either, so might as well just go with the Axis, secure that extra CS to kick your laning stage off. Very standard stuff.
I'm kind of thinking DB even maxes out the access in this lane. You can see that Skydalicious is already prepared for it with the magic sticks, and the Enchantress is probably going to be getting those out fairly soon, because you know that both the Rubik and the Beastmaster will be doing a lot of spamming.
Yeah, and also like there's a lot of armor on this Naga too, so you can't just poke this hero. You might as well have an extra tool to live with in the lane. Meanwhile, at the top lane, Lucify drop it low, and that looks like a first blood to me as Varish will be the one to bring it up. And bring Army Geniuses on the board first with this kill on the Hoodwink.
This is what you want to do with the Hoodwink. The hero has very low HP. Literally, you heal yourself up with one tango. So you always want to play it like over the edge. But he went a little bit too deep. Mirana level 1 usually isn't something that contributes much. But in this case in particular, Lucify just got way too low. And usually when you see that much HP on someone level 1 and the Mirana right click coming in, the hero is not gonna die, but the Hoodwink is just way too squishy.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with the positioning in this lane as well. Well, the arrow doesn't necessarily latch on to you from time to time. You're still a very mobile hero, able to juke around in the trees, especially once you hit level 3 or level 4 when you get your first point in Scurry. But still, you gotta be careful not to get caught, because Morph and Mirana both have a lot of bursting tools and a lot of damage to apply.
It's very important for Neon.Atomic not to die in these lanes. They could just out-farm their opponents, and they're actually not doing it. Okay, Lucify is dead again, most likely. But looking at the Naga, I'm actually surprised that Skydalicious has only 8 CS. The Beastmaster is crushing this lane.
He has a triple wave, basically, here, so he's got to land the CS here. There was, like, I think there was 3 range creeps. I might have seen that wrong, but at least a double wave just sitting there. And the Beastmaster denying one of them right in front of the Naga's face. And it also trying to interrupt with the pull. Doesn't quite work out, but with the web, they're going to get some damage out onto the Beastmaster. Skydalicious gets the kill as well with the help of Hated. A couple of right clicks into the mix. That minus armor from the Riptide. And you got yourselves a Beastmaster kill.
I thought for a second that the Rubik Fade Bolt was gonna stop the damage, but boy, does that Riptide hurt. Really just going through that Beastmaster quite easily. So yeah. I understand Skydalicious' frustration here in this lane, that you are not getting too many CS, so he skills up the early web. You know that these heroes have to die. Now, the lane changes a bit. EV has gotten his Helm of Iron Will, so I think that was your last chance where you could actually kill him. Now it's gonna be very, very tough.
Rubik also about to drop in the bot lane, very low on HP. Again, the ensnare used by the Naga. You got that early usage of the Riptide power. It only does 40 damage, but that only has already led to a kill, almost into a second one. Looking at In Your Dream has to be farming right under his own tower. Seri, he's stocked up on mangoes here. Varus looking for the arrow, will get it. But it's only just for a bit of poke so that In Your Dream can secure another creep for himself. They're going to try on the Mirana here. They got themselves the Gush, but you already got Leap leveled up, so there's always the escape tool. Just a bit of poke applied, and doesn't really force this Mirana into any trouble.
If I'm Army Geniuses, I'm pretty happy with the developments in the lanes. Right now,
this might actually be a straight up tower dive. Skydalicious going for it. Beastmaster juking around 50 HP. That drops very low Riptide. Oh, almost enough for the kill. Super close. Not enough.
The difference between the Helm of the Iron Will having it and not having it. You get into the tower with 13 armor. It's almost impossible for the Naga Siren to do any kind of damage to you.
Yeah, you look at 44% physical resist. That 40 damage from the Riptide, it looked like 20 damage there as he dropped from 30 to 10. It's just not enough damage to actually finish him off now. It does make a big difference.
Speaking about difference, JG is gonna have to make it here. Tusk, he has gotten his level 6, so rotations could be happening. The thing is, supports of Army Geniuses, they're coming for the runes, and Hoodwink is a little bit too late for that one.
Jokum. Gotta be careful here. There's the Walrus Punch. He ain't got enough mana for a block on the shards, but it's not needed this time. Thanks to the help of the Centaur, and JG does have a lot of damage to apply despite being Fade Bolted. That will work. That will work indeed. Even though it is Yoe who does have the action rune, and there's going to be an arcane on the Tiny. See if he can do something with that, but DB, yeah, it's just not having fun. Not enjoying his time at all.
I'm liking that they started pressuring him at least at some point. Actually, I thought the Helm of the Iron Will was gonna keep him alive, but not gonna be happening. It seems like these two, when you have the net to just stop the potential TP, it's too much damage.
Not that deep in the lane. Like, probably a big difference maker as well. Your positioning, getting slowed up by enchant, having an ensnare flying on you. You got Riptide and illusion blocks. Like, you go too deep on the lane, you are screwed.
But it all was kind of enabled with the Rubik dying. If Jokam, once he saw the Tusk, moved a little bit back to the lane, seeing that bottom rune cannot be contested, if that had happened and he was there for the Beastmaster, the kill probably wouldn't have happened. The reduced damage of the Fade Bolt would have been enough. But you lose your life there, and then suddenly Neon.Atomic, they find an opening to get another one. So very nicely done by them, just recognizing that they can go for the kill.
I'm actually surprised here in a sense that they're not trying to salvage DB's lane with a rotation from Tiny into the bottom lane without arcane rune, but there's a lot of vision, and now they're gonna go for the enchants as well. Scottylicious to follow up the chase on DB. They got the lift, and Naga has been cliffed, so you gotta TP out of there, and they will only have one illusion in the fight. Beastmaster wants it, but JG comes in first, and now there's the cavalry, but is it too late? Yoe finally getting the rotation in. He's gonna walk into the Tusk. He's got the avalanche into the toss, and the arrow on point. That's a dead Tusk, and it works out for Army Geniuses to get the trade.
And also the perfect timing with the next rune also there. This is the thing, the runes are very, very important. And JG, he did get a couple of kills, but he didn't secure a single rune for himself. So some big rotations to the enemy lanes aren't going to be happening. He's just kind of killing heroes who probably would have died anyways, or at least wouldn't have been much useful on the map. So yeah. I'm liking how this is going for Army Geniuses currently, because their Tiny is getting everything, and he's the one that needs that Blink Dagger fast. And looking at the gold, he might get there very soon.
Look at the movement coming into the bot lane as well. They want to play the bait. JG really hungry for another kill, and they will get it. The only thing is, did they see all of Army Geniuses' heroes moving towards the bottom lane? Because it feels like they have been spotted, and they won't get themselves that return kill. That could have been something that could have maybe worked out for Army Geniuses if JG rotated bottom and they were able to get a second kill on the Tusk, making him, well, kill him to, oh no, he actually blocked himself in his own shards. He's gonna get caught by the team. Snowball out, but you ain't got another escape tool available. The tree toss comes through. Varys trying to right-click down the Tusk. He's only doing a limited amount of damage, but with the leap, you're going to be getting enough of that, and you can't outreach in that. Lucify misses the bushwhack as well. Hayden's going to be taken down, and they will return with a Rubik kill. But it is a 2-for-1, where your mid-hero has been killed 2 times inside a time span of 1.5 minutes. So that definitely is worth for Army Geniuses.
There are some geniuses in the chat to explain me those shards that happened from JG, what he was trying to do, what was the idea. Like, I'm gonna block myself in here and set up for an arrow. Yeah, that's the only thing I see, but why? Why would you do it? It just ends up in him going down.
Maybe he was having some kind of, football goalkeeper simulator. They're like, I'll catch whatever you throw at me, but this time it looks like it's gonna be a bit of a score. 10 minutes into this one, DB gonna be following up last on net worth with the Beastmaster. Obviously, he did have a really rough lane. He's been caught a couple times, and he actually found the Morphling without Ravage. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was... the Tidehunter was seeing the Morphling, and Morphling was running towards him, and Lucify, the Morphling didn't have vision of him. So the Bushwhack came out and they got the kill. So it was pretty unfortunate for the Morphling, but nice movement from Lucify. He just wasn't expecting him there.
And also JG getting caught in the mid lane. They did have 3 heroes to stack up on top of him, using the Roar for the kill. Not too great for the Tusk. And then again, it's like this Tusk is just wearing off. But now we're going to get a fight in the mid lane with Lucify. We got Seri ready with the Ravage. And he applying some pressure onto Yoe. He is dropping fairly low, but they also have no more detection or damage to apply. They lose the tower in the process and run away with a Mirana ult.
This is a big problem. This is just before the tiny blink comes out. Usually, at least you have to use the blink reveal with the smoke to get a mid lane tower down or put some damage on it. But they got the whole tower. So now, once you get the blink on the tiny, you can go anywhere on the map, kill anyone. The Mirana and the tiny are gonna be slaughtering Neon.Atomic. And currently, Neon.Atomic, they still need some items to go their way. So it's not like they can go 4-man and just play the top part of the map. It's not that easy to do at this point. So very good timing for Army Geniuses, and there is the blink, and it's time for a move.
Let's see if they can establish with this smoking up in mid, seeing Sari in the river. It's a hero they don't want to get, but they can definitely go on the Enchantress and take that one instead. They see the Hood also up on the Tidehunter, so don't want to risk the chance of stacking up for a Ravage if the Kraken Shell pops at the wrong time. You can always go for an edge kill if they want to, and Neon.A now starting to build into the Echo Saber as well. Most likely Echo Saber into maybe BKB or Ags. Would you go straight up Ags after Echo?
You don't have a lot of AoE lockdown, but yeah, it does make sense. That's why you need the Echo at least, just to have a little bit of a slow with your Aghanim's. Yeah, I think I would.
Kind of got the same feeling as well. I feel like they could just apply it, get that early damage in. Lucify missing the sharpshooter on DB.
And now he's in trouble.
DB himself isn't, but Lucify scurrying at the trees. There are some hawks that they can send every now and then, but not too frequently enough to actually spot his location. Still in your dreams, going to start hammering down the tier 1 tower, while the push from Atomic still isn't happening. So they could still rotate to defend theirs if they want to force a fight, and Neon.A would love to take some more kills with that blink.
He didn't get too many kills with the tiny, but the thing is, with the mid lane tower falling, you have this very short range that you can cover, or short distance that you can cover very easily to get the bottom tower as well. It's very hard for Neon.Atomic to play the game because that mid lane tower fell. You have the Tidehunter, you have the strongest teamfight hero on the map, and you just let go of your mid lane tower. That was a big mistake, and just now it's gonna be very tough for them to play the game, because you have to be very aggressive on the top lane, which means if you want to get the same amount of farm as the enemies, which means that this tiny can go for his hunt, and he might be getting some bigger kills than the Enchantress herself.
We're going to be finding Jokum inside his own jungle. Atomic applying some pressure. We've got the MLS coming out as well. Rubik still baiting, but there's a Sentry Ward placed down for the kill. Neon.A going for the blink in, and Scottylicious has been found. They've got the real Naga, but there's the Song of Our People. That's a classic TP out. See you later, guys.
That worked out really good for them. Really good. The Rubik dying and then getting out of that one. Yep. Sometimes the Naga won't have the sleep.
Maybe this one's going to be a bigger one. Sari trying to outlive the damage from Morphling. Does he Ravage to get out? I feel like Tide is already dead, but they're going to try to look for the turnaround. Morphling, Sharpshooter coming out, but he's already got the Strength Morph out as well. A JG to fall. Army Genius is finding themselves 2 kills. Hated into the tree line as the Enchantress, Bambi, trying to get away, limping and taking a lot of damage, but surviving. Morphling going to get caught by the Bushwhack, so no chase to apply for a 3rd kill. Ravage spent 2 kills and 2 cores. Doesn't really matter that you gave away the Rubik there earlier on.
This is amazing. This is amazing for Army Geniuses. They would be fine even if they had lost 1 hero and forced the enemies to use the Ravage defensively. That isn't something that Neon want to allow to happen. They want to always threaten with the Ravage and use it aggressively for a big objective, or at least to do some damage to the mid lane tower. With this kind of a development, it's a disaster. It's a complete disaster. And now, for the next couple of minutes, it's going to be Army Geniuses getting all the farm on the map and Neon.Atomic not really getting much. JG is the one who should change that, who might have the power to change it, but with the way that he's building with his items, he also needs some time. So yeah, I think it's the next 5 minutes. Game is gonna be very tough for Neon.Atomic.
Soon, a Wraith packed up for the Tidehunter. Probably an item we will not be seeing for a very long time when you consider about the DPC season beginning soon. most likely the patch before that. But talking about some action instead, Jokum actually lives thanks to the tiny blinking in between to tank the sharpshooter, but he's also going to be in trouble. Look at the axes flying in. Seri, no Ravage, just standing his ground, keeping them at bay. TP looking for the roar, actually cancels there for a second. Here comes Tiny, round number 2. They're going to be taking to hit it down. They're going to be trading off the Tiny for it, but you're going to get more. In your dream, would love to kill someone here, but he does not have the damage. Anchor Smash takes off a third, as In Your Dream is just basically poking Tusk and the Tidehunter at that point. So it's going to be a Tiny for an Enchantress in the end, and Army Genius is probably not too happy with that.
They're not going to be happy at all. They know that they're stronger. That's why they're forcing these things out. But they were forcing it in a position where the Tidehunter was. And he's just way too hard to kill. And it's hard to go through him. He actually does reduce your damage for quite a lot. So Army Geniuses, they forced it until they lost the Tiny, and you could see how much they wanted it within your dream coming as well. But the thing is, their lineup, it works with pickoffs. You need to spread out the map, force some TPs, and then gank the other side. That is how it works. If you're just running straight into your opponents and they're ready, it's not gonna be working out too good for you, especially if they're in a good position to defend it. And a choke point with a Tide is always gonna be good.
Currently looking at the vision play on both sides of the map. You're kind of blind as Atomic for the time being, and Army Geniuses, they have very good information with all the towers they've taken down, able to apply those deep wards. They can spot Atomic from a mile away.
They can, but also they're allowing Skadalicious to farm. He's very deep in the enemy jungle, pretty much all on his own. Feels like he cannot die, and I feel like this is something that you should be able to punish if you're Army Genius, and they didn't put much emphasis into it. They wanted to fight more. But what they are doing well in this game is going for objectives. Their movement from objective to objective has been really good, really calculated, and getting a tier 2 so early on will open their path to Roche, because Neon.Atomic, now you have to get heroes to the bottom lane to actually defend the high ground, and it's not something you want to do 18 minutes in.
Here we go with the smoke as well. Bottom tier 2 taken. There's only one direction you're going to be taking this, and it is straight into your own jungle. Hated already in the location to pop some smokes. They're going to find Lucify. Jokum with the stolen shards on the Rubik. Able to find the kill. Still 2 heroes smoked up, but they didn't quite find the primary target, which was the Naga that they would have wanted to find. And Skadalicious, he's going to finish off this tier 2 tower. They're going to be TPing to defend it, though. Mirana taking the initial brunt of the damage. Naga getting thrown into the air by Yahweh. And Hated also going to be at the back. And they blow him up! Who cares about your song when there's water coming right at you in force, in power? Sniped.
Yep, just to put his hand underwater, like, I don't want to listen to your song, and he gets him down. If the adaptive strike wouldn't have been enough, it would have been a problem. It would have been getting out, but either way, this Roche would have been open anyways. You have to push out the mid lane, you have to push out the bottom lane, and suddenly the Roche is just completely open. This is something that Army Geniuses were looking at, and at least in terms of their game plan, they're doing well. In terms of movements, I think I would like to see an improvement, but the Army Geniuses are looking like they know what they want to do on the map, and in terms of objectives, everything is working out so far.
Definitely is. Even if the economy lead isn't massive for Army Geniuses, they have a lot of control. They're looking for more objectives with that Overlord helmet as well. The top tier 2 going to be quickly backdoored. Easy one to grab. The wave is pushing though, so they won't be able to continue there for a bit longer. But with the help of the Aegis, see if they can start pushing towards that mid lane, that tier 2 tower. The perilous mid tier 2 tower is going to be a difficult one to grab, but with the help of the Aegis, only going to be a bit easier. But Atomic, they're going to be going on the aggressive first. Smoking up behind the Naga Siren. Skadalicious standing in the mid lane. They've got the Mirana, you've got the Tiny on the other side of the river. And DB ain't here. DB is going to have to rotate as soon as possible if they notice activity. They've got the Naga lifted into the air. Sharpshooter going to be connecting onto the Mirana with the Bushwhack, as Mirana is now down to half HP, very low, about to fall. Seeks a Serenity for some extra regen, but no hits coming through. Mirana will live. They'll also jump the Granite Golem in the river. Easy 250 for the Naga. Tower does get taken down by Hayden in the end, so it's actually his enchanted range creep that got the kill.
Oh, now if anyone from Neon.Atomic leaves right now and leaves the other
Oh,
one's gonna be
wait.
a problem. He's
1 versus 4. Where's your backup? Force Staff comes out from Jokum to get some time for him. Arrow flying in. It's going to hit an illusion. They're going to lose the Tiny already at the start of the fight. In Your Dream, down to half HP. He's turning into a Tusk. Snowball in. Takes down Hated. Zeri dropping low. That Tidehunter is starting to feel really soft at the hands of this Morphling. Jokum might die, but JG might die himself for the trade. There's an Orchid coming out to silence him up, but In Your Dream, you ain't gonna silence this guy. He is just gonna roll you over. Triple kill for him as well, and forcing Atomic away.
The Tidehunter wasn't thinking he was gonna die that easily. In Your Dream, turning into Tusk with the tag team and the Manta just ripped him apart completely, and that is what changed this fight. With the Tide dying, you cannot fight any longer. Neon.Atomic, even though it started well for them, I think that Yowie was thinking, okay, someone is gonna TP to the bottom lane, someone is gonna bail, and we're gonna catch the remnants, but they all stayed, and I like that move from Neon.Atomic. But what I don't like is that they underestimated the Morphling damage, so In Your Dream just ripped them apart, something that they weren't expecting.
So how do we go from here with Atomic? When you consider what we just saw basically there, their positioning and the abilities that they have at hand, you gotta get a good Ravage out. You need to have Wraith Pact to the position that it doesn't get instantly destroyed and somewhere near the Morphling. However, Morphling is really good at just taking it down quickly. How do you position to get yourself a prime, well, I would say advantage over Army Geniuses if you're on the side of Atomic?
So you use the Naga illusions to push out waves. That's the first thing. You get a blink on the Tide and you focus on killing the Morph. You have to push out the waves. Considering you're up against the Beastmaster, you're gonna be on the receiving end or be on the kind of bad trade in terms of vision. You're always going to be losing that way. So you need the lanes to push out and get the advantage that way. Then get the blink on the Tide, focus down the Morphling. If the Morphling doesn't die at the start of the fight, you could be in a lot of trouble.
4-man smoke gank coming up from Atomic. Jokum in the mid lane. Rubik could be a prime target to go for. JG blows him up himself. Doesn't need any help with this one, but everybody else from his team also gets revealed. So it's just a singular pick-off, but with that, straight up taking space away into the enemy jungle. 30 seconds until he's going to be back up again, and MLS has also run its course, so Army Geniuses can't really set up for an instant fight either. Atomic, if they find more targets, well, they found the Morphling still with the Aegis for 45 seconds, so he's not a good target to initiate on for the time being. And by that time, Rubik is also going to be respawned. Atomic, gotta be careful with how long they overstay their welcome.
They are buying time for the Tide Blink. They are buying time for some extra Naga items. The problem is also they're buying time for the Ags on the Morphling that kind of changes everything, so this Naga isn't really going to be doing much. But still, if you're focusing down the Morphling, if he goes down first, it's not going to be that big of an issue. But I think Army Geniuses, if they recognize that this is the only way they can heavily lose fights, and In Your Dream always stays in a relatively safe position, that they should be very, very good to take any kind of fights, especially because both the Tiny and the Beastmaster will have their BKBs now.
Gotta love this Naga on Naga gameplay with Morphling turning into Naga, sending mirror images around the map, and then you have these, you know, betrayers around the map, so those are very good pushing tools. And extra farm for the Morphling as well, because they do proc Riptide, so that is a nuisance to deal with. Atomic sitting in the mid lane with this ward placed down right here.
They're gonna be spotted now.
There's also another ward on the other side of the river, so you're right about that. Ward vision taken away right under their own. Great timing for Army Geniuses. They have fresh information where everybody is. Most likely it's like somebody's probably farming this camp, so let's aim for it. Wards on the low ground, wards on the high ground.
They want to force out the Ravage.
Does not quite connect, but Yowie will go for the blink in. BKB popped as well. Heavy damage onto the Tidehunter. He's already down a half. They're going to be looking for more. You got the song coming in. JG down. Oh no. You songed in for the fight, but you've lost the Tusk. Big damage dealer gone. Now it's just down for the retreat. It does look like everybody else is going to be making out, but the timing was off. The timing was just a bit too off.
Yeah, barely off. Still, I think Neon.Atomic are okay with this. Of course, you lose a core. It's not ideal. But the thing is that the movement from Army Geniuses and their smoke timing was perfect. So, in my mind, I thought they were going to be getting more. Especially with Neon.Atomic staying to take the outpost. But, in the end, you lose one hero. You lose the song, not the longest of cooldowns. So, you'll be fine. And you will create some space for the Tidehunter to get the blink. Okay, scratch that. Seri isn't getting any farm. Which I think the priority should be given to him just to finish that one off.
Sitting up in the mid lane, they've got the lift onto the Tidehunter, broken with the Force Staff. Dream continues to pummel away, Arrow almost connects. Hated playing in a very aggressive position as well, the Enchantress. They don't quite see the engine time, plus with the Arrow not connecting, no capability of jumping in. Still sticking around in the area. See this ward placed down on the ground, and with the sentry just out, well, the creep wave just outside of vision. You don't know about it, but now creeps are going to be targeting it. There goes his surprise element. Everybody's back to full strength. Song in 30 seconds. Smoking up as well, almost walking into the Arrow. Ravage from Seri! It's a huge one! Maybe they can finally score themselves a victory here. JG down on HP, but he's still alive for the time being. The Roar comes out as well. They found the Naga. Scotty Licious in trouble in your dream, coming in with the dive as well. DP in the middle of the fight too. They've got the Tidehunter low, Naga down, and Atomic. They did get the perfect initiation out, but they cannot withstand the sustained damage in your dream, going absolutely ham inside the base. Ultra kill, making a rampage. The follow-up on Hated, but the avalanche will miss, and it's just a 4 for in your dream, but it's more than enough. Creeps are coming in. Backdoor protection's gone, Harry, and it does look like that might have been decisive for the game.
Yeah, this is the thing. Your Ravage in this game isn't the big AoE spell that secures you that you kill 5 heroes. It's a spell that kills one hero and secures that the other ones don't help. And it has to be the Morphling. The second that you went for 4 heroes is when the second that you lost that fight. Because in your dream wasn't in the Ravage. He came in, he took away the Naga's ability to fight, ability to do damage, because you're taking away 70 attack speed, 20% of the agility. So she becomes a non-factor, and in your dream is just way too strong. And you just saw how much damage he did in that fight and how he destroyed him. So Neon.Atomic, bad approach to the fight. It's still not over. They can still change it, but if they think a 5-man Ravage is awesome, then they're gonna lose the next fight as well. It has to be the Morphling that is targeted. It has to be the Morphling that dies. You have this Orchid as well. It should help you contribute to the damage. Nagas are now going for the Scotty. I don't think that's the right move. Bloodthorn, anything, Hex, anything to make sure that this hero is dead during the duration of that Ravage. If that doesn't happen, every single fight will look that way.
Yeah, I agree. This is starting to feel like the itemization choice has... Well, I mean, the Scotty is also... I don't think it's the right choice here. You gotta have some extra to add in, and just kind of thinking about that Bloodthorn, the effectiveness of that could be really good. And I really like the idea of Hex as well. It could be super deadly against this Morphling, who is somewhat low HP, has no Lincolns, has no BKB. You only got Manta to remove any other ability like Ensnare. Maybe some of the slows coming out for the Tidehunter. You could dodge Bushwhack, but you can't get rid of those single targeted spells. That Hex would be really, really good to have, but we'll see if something changes. Has actually opted to build something different if you look at that.
The big problem right now, he'll go for the Lincolns, but the big problem right now is that the bottom lane is always going to be pushed in, so the Naga Siren might have to put her emphasis on the bottom lane, allowing Army Geniuses to play top Roche, and the top area is what they need right now.
They're going to be finding Hated with that quick pick off, and the lane's already pushing in prime position to secure Roshan. 7 seconds until he respawns, so they're going to be walking into the pit, and also the Centaur Courser here, so at least Atomic has some idea what Army Geniuses are doing. Unfortunately, just not strong enough to contest, and as you can see, Roche spawns, instant 180 straight towards the pit, finish off him, take the Aegis, and an extra shard to be grabbed as well.
Not good. Now you get the last outer tower, and defending the high ground is not easy for Neon.Atomic. I think their last outer tower should be the ideal position for them to fight, because you have vision of the Morphling. The thing is, now he has an Aegis, so dropping the Ravage on him isn't gonna be the best solution. So right now I'm looking at the game and I don't know what the solution is. They don't have good ways to outpush the waves. They just have to fight. So now they're forced into one last fight, and we're gonna be looking at their buybacks. That's the main thing, which they don't have a lot of.
Scottylicious finishes off the Lincolns, but the top tier 2 is already down, and In Your Dream is hammering your tier 3. In the front with that secondary life. Smoke up from Atomic, coming in from the side. Army Geniuses, are they ready for it? They better be. They're going to be taking down Jokum with the Aeon Disc. And the snowball save coming out just in time. Stolen spell to keep him alive. And the song comes out as well. But this Rubik is surely done for with the sharpshooter at the least. There we go. Lucify will take down one. Song also used for one kill. Army Geniuses decide to play the area. They are not leaving.
No reason to get away from this one at all.
And here we go. There goes Hayden. Doesn't take too much effort to take down the Enchantress. Coming in with an instant buyback as well. Now they're finally getting some target damage onto the Morphling, but that is still, that Aegis up. And a lot of HP to burn through. Ada almost going on a dieback. Yahweh looking for another target. It's going to be Scottylicious. Finds the right Naga as well. And that Naga has to get out of there. They're all targeting the Naga right now. Scotty trying to make a run for it. The Roar comes out as well. Force staff save. We're getting bull whipped as well. But is it going to be enough? Snowball going to be pulled in. And now it's all do or die. 10 seconds for his illusions. Ain't going to live. In Your Dream with illusions is going to be taking it down. And Sari on the run. Going to get webbed up as well by In Your Dream. Turning into a Naga. Using your own tools and weapons against you. And Army Genius says run this one over. It's GG at 33 minutes. Very decisive victory from them.
Yeah, very nicely done by Army Geniuses. I don't want to say a perfect game from them. In terms of their ideas, which parts of the map they should play and which objectives they should take and how, it was a really good game from them. I would have wanted to see more pickoffs happening from their side, but overall this works as well. Still, I think they should be happy with the performance, but also if they want to get to that tier 1 level, tier 1.5, you know, until the DPC, they need those movements and those pickoffs to be there a little bit more. So just faster movements around the map, but the same idea in terms of getting objectives. I think that this team actually does have a lot to offer, and we're just gonna be seeing it from the start here.
Yeah, this was for sure a difficult game in the end for Neon.Atomic to kind of pull through and get themselves together. As Army Geniuses, you can see that this Morphling seems like the answer for everything. Map movements were really good. Even despite DB struggling in that lane early on, I do like the emphasis that they had on objective-based gaming. Let's choke them out, and we will turn this around with a Morphling getting strong in this game. Execution was really good. I think they've really understood the strengths of the draft and where we're going to be peaking and how we counter this Naga. And obviously, I think automation also has a big question here. We talked about maybe Naga could have gone for a bit of a different approach with maybe 1 or 2 items. You're very tanky. You're very bulky. That's for sure. Like, you're a very hard target to take down, but you're going to have a damage issue. You're going to have a control issue, and that is if the Morphling is alive. So you're absolutely correct on that. So a difficult game for to approach as Neon.Atomic.
Yeah, I mean, her items are good. The thing is, they were always like a couple of minutes too late. You get the Orchid, but there are 2 Force Staffs on the enemies. Plus, the cores are like 2-3 minutes away from the BKBs. You get the Blink on the Tide, but it's a little bit too late. You got the Blink on the Tusk, you got 2 pickoffs, but then you couldn't get more because the timing just wasn't good enough. So you were just losing the game. That's about it. You were losing the game. You went for items that otherwise would have been good. You needed to maybe adapt. You didn't. You went safe with it.
Right. Actually misclicked there for a second. But, I mean, without further ado, I think this is a good time for us to also throw into a break. So we'll see you guys in a bit for game number 2.